What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. The NBA season's here, guys. It is finally here. Finally we get some basketball, and now we're going to have a lot of the basketball to talk about as we begin the regular season, as we begin the march towards another NBA champion. So, speaking of which, I wanted to touch upon this subject because it's actually been a subject that was lingering for months, and even during the summer. And it's about Jaylen Brown. And if you guys remember, I don't watch First Take anymore because it's been repetitive and it's been biased, rigged, and boring. But Stephen A. Smith talked about how, with Jaylen Brown, he's all master class, he's a model class, this and this and that. And he said through a quote-unquote unnamed source that the reason why Jaylen Brown is not as recognized and doesn't get the recognition that he deserves is because he's not a guy that's going to go with the go along. And literally, and I'm just paraphrasing, he's pretty much a guy that is too intelligent and is bold and will ask certain questions before he does anything. And, you guys can look at the clip on First Take. Y'all have seen it. And immediately afterwards, Stephen A. Smith had multiple phone calls, which included a call from Isaiah Thomas, pretty much defending Jaylen Brown. Now, Jaylen Brown went on Stephen A. Smith's, podcast and pretty much, said his perspective and on things. And I have to say, I wasn't a huge Jaylen Brown fan at all. Now, I respected how talented he is as a basketball player and the things he does in his community. But hearing him speak and pretty much checking Stephen A. Smith in a respectful and a professional manner, I gotta say that Jaylen Brown earned a lot of respect from me and a lot of other fans that pretty much are not fans of the Celtics, period. But for him individually as a person, oh yeah, this is the type of guy that you want to have in your corner when it's time to battle. Because Jaylen Brown is the kind of guy who's very educated, very well spoken, and he's very bold to what his beliefs are. And I can tell from a lot of people that kind of throws it off the wrong way. You know what I mean? And y'all know what I mean when I say that he's a strong, intelligent black man, and that's something that unfortunately the white mass media hates the most. They hate that. They rather have a guy like a Ja Morant in front of their faces and tell them this is the kind of guy you want to look up to, not Jaylen Brown. We all know what our society views on things. So when I was listening to the interview, I felt that Jaylen Brown did an excellent job, checking Stephen A. Smith, not like attacking him, which I know many of us would have done. You know what I mean? Pretty much checking him and telling him, hey, listen, I'm not a guy that is going to be easily influenced. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of personality. I'm cordial what my beliefs are. And more importantly, he's the kind of guy, he's a stand-up guy that when the trenches are on the line, you got to have him in your corner. So I really respected how Jaylen Brown went into that interview and did it in a nice, respectful manner, but really did it in a stern kind of perspective that pretty much told you what he stands on things. So I know that Stephen A. Smith is going to be very careful how to approach Jaylen Brown from this point forward. But the other thing too here is that, when it comes to athletes, when it comes to, NBA players, I get the sense that a lot of the NBA wants to promote guys that are a bit loose cannon and are pretty much, unhinged at times. A la Ja Morant, a la Anthony Edwards. Now, Anthony Edwards is no Ja Morant, does the stuff off the court. But the other stuff, yeah, I'm going to leave that for another time. But Jaylen Brown is the opposite of that because the guy, has helped in this community in Boston. Even out there in Oakland, he's opened up, various, shops and helped out in his community. And he said that he's opened up a Black Wall Street in Oakland. That's what he said. So when you look at Jaylen Brown and how he does things and how he views the world, that guy is a model class citizen that every single black person should look up and try to be. You know what I mean? And even if you're not going to be a basketball player, just look at what he does in his community, how he handles himself, how he handles his money, and how he handles, adverse situations. Jaylen Brown is that type of personality. And for anyone in the media that's talking about that, they look at that kind of personality as a threat. While we in the black community, we respect it, we revere it more than anything. You know what I mean? And the white mass media, they're afraid of that. Because it pretty much gives them the indication, like, who are you to try to like be stern in what your beliefs are, and you think we can't influence you. All right, so it's kind of one of the reasons why I believe that he wasn't selected on Team USA, because I have a bit of suspicion that's probably one of the reasons why he wasn't selected. Because listen, to be real with you, why would Derek White be on the team over Jaylen Brown? That doesn't make any level of sense. But that's gonna be a story for another time. But salute to Jaylen Brown. Good interview. Good job of explaining his perspective and pretty much telling a lot of his critics to stick it up their whats. So that's all I have to say. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.